off. So all of a sudden I saw the chat box flashing and I say, can't hear you, can't hear you, can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Well, maybe I should start again. I'm sure glad I didn't get too far into it. Welcome to your next event. Welcome to this presentation. I'm David Barrett. I am thrilled to be here. International Project Management Day put on by Procept and some other great organizations. Thank you, Kevin Aguano and team, for doing all of this. Okay, you can say, okay, go to the chat box and say, check or okay, just to make sure that yes, you can hear me this time. I'm hoping everyone can hear me because I keep looking at Paulo is just saying, yeah, neither can I. Can you? Thank you, Paulo and all others. Okay, Ali. So I'm also, by the way, a sponsor of this event and now a sponsor of this organization for the next year, projectbytes.com. You'll see the logo just above my title of my slide. I'd love you to visit. There's a 7-day free trial to have a look. It is a collection of 20-minute videos on project management from speakers and professionals around the world. Brand new, 1 month old, just over 60 videos, hopefully within a month or two. I'm actually thinking by the new year, we'll have well over 100 videos. So I really, I'm going to talk to you for these 45 minutes. I want to give you some time to ask some questions. I'm not going to whip through it, but man, I've been in this business. Well, I started with a company called Symantec way back when, and they introduced me to a product called Timeline. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember that one, but Timeline was on the platform, was under DOS prior to Windows, and it was a leader in project management scheduling tools. And so that goes way back, 1991 or 2 or 3 area. Started to get serious about the project management business in 95, which is to say I've been around for a while. I've been running conferences, events for project managers. I've launched this Project Bytes. I've written 7 books on project managers, and a couple of them actually compilations from very, very smart people, not me, on what they think about project management and key nuggets they take into project managers. So I've done a whole bunch of things in this space, keynote speaker as well. And that is to say, I've watched people's careers. I've watched this space evolve over time from 1995 when I joined that other association, and I think my membership number is like 64,000. Or I was, but at the time, the membership I think was 30,000. Now it's just over 800,000. Things have grown since 1995. This organization as well had launched not long after in Canada. By the way, I'm Canadian. I am live in a city or town called Collingwood, Ontario, 2 hours north of Toronto, if you just want to get that geography, because I know that we come from all around the globe as well as from not just Canada. So great to have all of you here. I've been around long enough to watch all this stuff evolve. I've counseled people. I don't do it for a living. I'm not a coach, but I talk to people about their careers. And I've heard people as they come to me and say, David, I did everything they told me to, and I can't find a job. Or David, I did everything that I read that I was supposed to do, and I'm struggling for my next gig. I'm an independent, and where's the business? And so, it's tough. And I have an opportunity with my time on stage as a keynote speaker before COVID at PMI chapters, at chapters here with this organization and others, where I was able to talk to groups about how to take their careers to the next level. And the problem is, the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that it isn't easy out there, and I appreciate that. This is a great business to be in. This is a really fun. I love projects. I love the beginning and the end. I love the stress. I love the change management that's got to go in there. I love all the pieces. But it was a lot easier back in 1995, 96, 97. Then things start to bubble. I jumped in 95 because I saw things bubbling. I started a program, an 18-day program here in Canada through the School of Business. I started a conference. I started a magazine that still exists online called projecttimes.com, not involved anymore. It was booming. It was starting to go crazy. Y2K was coming up, and people were getting pretty excited about project management. It was easy back then. I laugh sometimes, say, if you could spell project management, you could get a job, any organization. If you could spell project management, you had your PMP or any other professional designation in the project space, you could write your own ticket. It was easy back then. And here comes the tough part. And you're going to regret You won't regret joining me for this session. I know you had choices, but here's the rough part. Folks, project managers these days, there's a lot of us out there. Sometimes I get brave enough to say, hey, we're a dime a dozen. You can get really good project managers out there anywhere. I tend to come back off of that a titch and say, well, it's just busy out there. There's a lot of us. You know, people can find good project managers to work for them anywhere. They can find good project managers with subject matter expertise, with good experience. It's easy. They can find great project managers with subject matter expertise, with years of experience, and with a professional designation, 3 letters behind their name. It's easy. And the truth is, folks, that when that used to be the golden ticket in 1996, 7, 8, 9, in the Y2K and around the 2000 mark, when that used to be the golden ticket, it's just the entry ticket now. It is just the piece that gets you in the door. And that's the bad news. The good news is I'm going to talk to you about how to fix that, how to stand out in the crowd, how to take your careers to the next level. And here's the most important part of this whole session. If you sit there and wait for the phone to ring, it's not going to happen. If you do what they say you're going to do out there in the professional world and those associations out there, with all due respect to those gathered here in the room, it's not going to happen. You've got to take the bull by the horns, and you have to do something different. I'm going to talk to you about that now, because unless you stand out in front of the crowd, unless you stand up and do and be and sound and look different, then you're not going to get the call. I know it's brutal, but you're not going to get the call. It's not going to happen, because your wonderful resume, your wonderful profile on LinkedIn, your wonderful profile on pm.coms.ca or wherever else isn't enough. Man, hey. Okay, we're going to go from 18 to 10 here, fast, but people are going to jump away. Don't jump away. Let me help you. Here's what we're going to talk about in the next 40 odd minutes. We're going to think differently, learn the business, be a great communicator, figure out Agile, learn how to sell, and you need a plan. How's that? That's where we are going, okay? Now we're going to go there. When I talk about being a great communicator, I can tell you, tell me where we're going, take me, and tell me where we've been. That's exactly what you're about to see right now. Folks, in order to stand up and be different, I need you to rethink your world around you. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that from that traditional build it on time, on scope, on budget, be a great project manager, get your professional designation, learn how to be a technical person. The truth is that I can find that. I got a room full of that. It's kind of like I got 10 rooms with round tables and people sitting around having a chat. And I'm listening. They're talking about project management. They're talking about good project management practices, and I'm really impressed with that presentation, with that conversation. But there is a table in the corner here that's a little different. As I walk by, I hear a different conversation. And it goes something like, what the heck are we doing here? Why are we building this? How does this work that we are doing fit into the strategic initiative of this organization? Why? For whom? How does it all piece together? You see, back in 1996, 7, 8, I was running Project World Canada, Project Summit in the United States, and we would have panel discussions and people would say, what does a project manager really do? Because there was a lot of newbies in the room. Well, our job is to build it on time, on scope, and budget. I remember the woman, someone sitting in the back, like, excuse me, what happens if it doesn't work? People would look around and go, what do you mean it doesn't work? Well, what happens? What responsibility does a project manager have if the product didn't sell, if the shelves didn't fill with that widget you were buying or building, if the building didn't rent, the condos didn't sell, the bridge didn't work? What responsibility does the project manager have? I tell you no lies. The answer in that room was clear as a bell. It's not our job. It's not our job to worry about the outcome. Our job is to build it on time, on scope, on budget. Yes, things change. Yes, budgets change. Yes, but time frames change. Yes, scope changes. That's our job. Go crazy. But we're not responsible for the end result. And man, that was, put a hood over their heads. Jeez. Today, I'm looking for people that are sitting around this table, because these tables out there, that 15 or 20 tables with 10 people or 8 people around them, all talking beautifully about project management, smart people like you and me. I can get those anywhere. This table, they're talking about why we're doing it. They're asking why. They're asking where the strategic plan is. How does this all fit into the big picture? And that's my number one piece of the puzzle to you, is start thinking differently, because once you start thinking differently, the conversation changes. When I meet with you, all I'm hearing is all about how great a project manager you are and all the tick box stuff that you can do and all the tools you use and all that cool stuff. Yeah, I'm impressed. Wow, it's cool. And 8 other people, 15, 20 other people just like you. But when you and I start talking and you say, what really concerns me is I've worked in organizations, and here comes the flag. I work in organizations, I'm hearing you say, where you get these torpedo projects and you're forced to execute because you haven't built a project environment where we actually have to test all the project work coming in and put it up against the plan and approve it as we should. We kind of do work where there's this massive moat between the project team and all the worker bees and strategy and the executive level. And there's no bridge in between. I'm looking for organizations, I'm hearing you say, and this is where you're standing out, where that bridge is being built, where there is a connection between the work that we're doing and the strategic plan, the 1, the 3, the 5-year plan. I'm sitting and listening to you, and I'm hearing the word strategy. I'm hearing that you actually have the nerve to ask why we're doing things, how things fit in, where's the strategy? Where's the business value to the work we're doing, the business benefits? You see, this isn't just, you're being really cute and creating some conversation so you get the gig. The truth is, the reason I like this conversation is because people that talk this way are able to connect the work that's being done with everyone else. And when you do that, the folks over here are more engaged, they're happier, because they understand the why, because you asked for it, because you pushed it, because you helped build that bridge. They get up every morning and they love coming to work because they know the why they're working. They know what we're doing, whether it be a service or a product we're building, a service that we are supplying to our community, to our people, to our country, to our community, to wherever. And that is why I love this conversation. And that's when you start standing out, because I want my project managers to think big picture, to talk strategy, business value, and business benefits. Folks, number one suggestion, ask why. Hey, listen, we're going to take some questions at the end of this. I'll make sure I leave a few minutes. I believe we're going to use the Q&A box, question box, chat box. Maybe one of my folks can remind me as to how we're going to take Q&A, but we'll end that at the end. So number 2, learn the business. So what do you mean learn the business? Well, you see, I want my future project managers to understand more than just our silo, more than just technology, more than just engineering. I want them to have explored, have reached out through whatever means to be able to really build relationships outside the silo, outside the space, and to build that knowledge. Why is that important to me as an employer? As a customer? Because it's going to make everything go better, because you're going to be able to connect the dots, because you are going to be able to bring those relationships together. When marketing is required, you're going to say, I know Barb. And when you want the engineering group to get together and you're in IT and you know Tom, and you're in engineering and you got to get the IT people working or finance working, you know Sue. It's those relationships, because you went out and reached out to different silos of the business. It's not just relationships, it's knowledge, and you start to understand how they work. Oh, really political groups. So I know how to deal with that political engine because I've been there, I visited, I know them. Learn the business. Learn all parts of the business, folks. Because you who just goes and tick box project management every day, who knows your silo, it's a big flag for me, and I'm looking for more. I want you to really understand and have these relationships and have that knowledge. That's what I'm looking for. It's so important to be able to connect the dots within your business. It's so important to be able to talk the talk with people and be able to connect other people as well. Okay. We can't sit in our silos. We can't sit in our little offices and just build it on time, on scope, on budget. But not only learn the business, and here comes part two, but I need you as well to understand your industry. What do I mean by that? Well, often as project managers, maybe it's technology, which is a very typical example. We get thrown in totally different industries. We are tech, we are software development, hardware implementation, whatever that is, whatever. But we're throwing it, when we're in the automobile industry and the next gig or the next job, we're in finance and the next job. So sometimes, it's that technology we're using, we're SAP or we're Oracle, or we have the technology experience, but we're different industries. And so you are new. Well, I just joined and we're in the automotive business, or we're in the banking business, or we're in the insurance business, or we're in car rental business. And I say, so how does it work? And you say, I don't know, I'm just the project manager. I'm just working on their accounting system. Really? No good. It's no good. Go out and not only learn about your own organization, but learn about the business. Learn about the industry. Understand the trends going on. Understand your competition. Understand why things happen in your industry. If you're in a raw materials environment, if it's minerals, or if it's lumber, or if it's whatever, understand how that commodity is being traded. Understand the future of that commodity. If you are in renewable energy, I mean, God, it's so huge and it's growing, but it's controversial. So get it. Why? Because you're going to be able to be a part of that smaller table that talks more than just build it on time, on scope. You're now able to have that conversation back to the first round, which says, and talk about the business and ask the reasons why. David, how do I do this? I mean, well, first of all, let's go inside our company. Who did you have coffee with last week? Who did you have a virtual coffee with last week? Who did you reach out to in your organization that was 3 levels above you to say, hey, I'm down here and I'm in IT. This is what I do. I'm interested in expanding my knowledge about the business, and I'm wondering if I could buy you a coffee. No, you buy me a coffee. We'll have a coffee together. Not 2 hours, half an hour. We're all busy. Don't kill us with an hour, 2-hour-long meetings. Would there be any chance you could put 30 minutes together for me, aside from me, just to pick your brain a bit? I'd love to hear about your career. People love talking about their careers, a little ego thing. I've got a whiteboard in front of me that you can't see, and I've got a list of key people in your life, 2 of them, A and B. Doesn't matter who makes what list. The A's are the people I need to see every 6 months or have a meeting with every 6 months. They are key people. It's about 20 people long. They are my influencers. They're my friends that I trust that can talk to me about the business and what I'm doing. I'm an entrepreneur. I got lots of things going, like this Project Bites thing I told you about. It's brand new. It's 1 month old. I got people advising me on that one. Who are the people in your life? How are you reaching out? What's the plan? How are you going to reach out to people in the organization? I promise you, no one will ever mind getting the call. If they're busy, they will tell you so. That is not a no. It's just, geez, I'm swamped. Could you call me next 2 months from now? And I do that often as well. If it's internal. Now, sometimes it's hard getting a call from the blue with the project managers. David, can I buy you a coffee and go to a coffee shop in downtown Toronto or Collingwood, where I live, and talk about your career? It is hard. It's physical. I got to get there. I got to come back, and I'm really, really busy. Think about how you make it easy, how you make it virtual, how you make it in and out. To your industry, listening to podcasts, again, meeting people that are influencers in your industry, going to conferences about your industry, about renewable energy, not just about project management, but about renewable energy. Oh, what do you do in the business? Well, I'm a project manager in this industry. Well, good for you. And keynotes from leaders of the industry. This is how you expand your world. This is how you learn about what's going on. Okay, so number one, understand the business. Excuse me. Number one, change your language. Number two, learn the business and the industry. Number three, folks, this is a career stopper. Be a great communicator. In fact, cross that off and just be a good communicator. Put a time and effort into good communication skills. It is that soft skill that we all go, yeah, it's there. I spend most of my time learning how to schedule and monitor and control and change management and all this, but I probably should spend more time on communication, but I'm a pretty good presenter. Well, the fact is you're not. Or you're a good presenter, but your writing stinks. Or you're a good presenter, you're good writing, but you're a lousy listener. Or you've got all those three, and it goes on. Communication, we know, is vital within our organization as project people, as project professionals. Communication is the key to the whole thing, isn't it? It's a secret sauce. It is the sauce that runs through all of our project work. As integrators, as key people in an organization, in a project environment, as that key traffic cop, orchestra leader, I call them sometimes. It's the communication piece that holds it all together. Our job is to make it flow well and to be able to keep people connected with the information they want. Excuse me, take that one out. With the information they need, and that's very different, on a timely basis in a format that is consumable by them. And by the way, each stakeholder is so different. I see project managers shove stuff out the door and this is what everybody wants. It's not what everybody wants. Because your senior staff, your senior executives, your general managers, they want just that 1 or 2 page executive summary. But the people in the troops need a lot more than that, and they need the technical specs. A great communicator knows how to cut that data, cut that information in slices that is consumable by the right people at the right time in the right format. That's great communicating. Great communicators, they know how to structure the message. What am I going to say? Why am I saying this? They know how to sit back, folks. Put yourself in your receiver's shoes. Sit down and look at the stage and say, why am I here? What is this person, eventually you? What are they going to tell me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me is something we hear a lot of when we talk about great communicating. What's in it for me? Ask that question. Because if you answer that question properly, what's in it for the audience, then all of a sudden, so often, our message will change. I mean, I could spend hours here, folks, on great communication skills. But I'm hitting on just a few that I think are absolutely vital, because when I am looking for a project manager, when I'm looking for the new lead on a very, very important project in our organization, this is a big one. It comes around once in a blue moon. This is the quality I'm looking for in spades. I want someone that knows how to communicate well. The message is structured well. They have gone out and they've really fine-tuned their presentation skills, their communication, their writing skills, their listening skills. They know how to meet with people one-on-one. They have empathy. They have knowledge. They use a science of communicating, which I say, hey, prep, deliver well, and follow up afterwards. That science and that preparation is so important. That goes to put yourself in their shoes and ask what is so important about what you're going to say. You stand up in front of the board of directors or major stakeholders and give your project report. Hey, ask yourself, what do they need to hear? Not what you want them to hear. What do they want? And I can tell you the answer is very often, well, she wants something very different than him. And I got a group over there that wants something very, very different, and said, whoa, and then how am I going to handle this? And then it gets tricky, but at least you're going through the steps. Being a great communicator is that prep, it's delivering well. I'm not talking about being able to stand in front of hundreds and thousands of people or hundreds or thousands of people like I do very often as a keynote speaker and say, and talk like this with no notes. Well, that's a whole different ballgame. And quite frankly, I've worked very, very hard at this. And that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about being a great virtual presenter. That's important because we're presenting virtually all the time now. That's what COVID has done to us. I actually did a webinar last week. You can check it out at davidbarrett.ca. Actually, I don't know what the link is. You can email me anytime or go to LinkedIn and ask me what the link is. It's a 1-hour recording. It's there for you, no cost. Excuse me, on how to present virtually. I'm doing one next week on how to present, period. Forget virtual. Just how to present. Key on being a great presenter. But you got to work at it. Toastmasters is fabulous. There's other organizations out there that are really good at helping people understand how to be a great communicator. Want to get to the next level? This could be a showstopper, because when I am in the audience and I see you from the board of directors or wherever else, I see you stand up ill prepared. I see you fumble with the information. I see you missing the real facts. I see you deliver and it's just all over the map. There's no structure to it. I see you deliver when you just didn't understand what I was asking for, or delivering to a whole mass of us when really we are 2 different or 3 different audiences and you should have been ready for that. You're not going to get the job. I'm sorry. You really aren't. It is one of those key showstoppers. And it's right out there, isn't it? It's something that it is so apparent and aware when we're out there. So careful. Be a good communicator. Get practice. Go to Toastmasters. Learn how to listen better. Get a coach on how to be more empathetic with people. Start to develop relationships, and the communication within those relationships is critical. As a project lead, as a senior manager in my organization, I want someone who is good at this, who can get the message across. Number 3, learn Agile. Don't go out and get a certification. That's not, I don't require you to have a certification. But guess what? When I interview you, I'm going to ask, what do you know about Agile? And if the answer is, I don't know much, I've never dealt in Agile and I don't believe it, you're not getting the job. Well, wait, you didn't tell me there's Agile involved. I know, we don't do Agile. But I want my project managers, my next senior project managers, I want them to know enough about this alternative methodology in order to advise me or our organization or advise the department that maybe there is a better way of doing things. I'm not saying it is a better way. I'm not an Agile prophet. I'm just a dude that says, listen, I'm running an organization. I want to do it the best way we can. I want to use the latest and the greatest methodologies and tools and templates. And I want my project managers to know enough to advise, not enough to be my scrum master. That's not what I'm asking. But I want them to know enough to say, you know what? It's a big program we're running and I appreciate the work and I hope we're doing a good job, but I got a slice here that I think goes Agile. Whoa, what do you mean Agile? I want you to tell me why. And I want you to give me reasons why we should maybe hire an Agile consultant and bring somebody in for 2 weeks just to coach us through it, because that would be fascinating. It's not huge and risky, so let's do it. Cost a little bit of money, but so what? We'll learn from it. And this piece you're telling me will be accelerated through the process, and so we'll get it done differently. Yeah, well, great. If you know nothing about Agile, if you haven't studied it, then you're not going to have that conversation. We're just going to be waterfall and great. But guess what? Your competitors, my competitors, are biting at us and they're doing it faster and better and more efficiently. Sometimes using alternative methods. Go take a course, 2 to 3 day course. You don't have to get certified. I'm not asking you to be the Scrum Master. Go read, go follow a blog. Just do enough to be able to say in any interview, yeah, I know enough to be dangerous. What do you mean by that? Well, I know enough to advise my clients when Agile raises its head. I am not comfortable being a lead in the Agile implementation. I'm working on it, or I don't see that that's my place. That's cool. But I know enough to advise. Wow. That gets you to the top of the pile as well. Okay, so some of the stuff is it gets to the top. Some of the stuff is it helps you not fall from the top. That communication thing is, it's just one of those tickets you got to have. So there's loads of ways we can learn about Agile. And as I say, there's conferences, there's books, there's blogs. Do whatever you do, put it in your resume, because your LinkedIn profile, whatever we're doing, pmjobs.ca. Get it in there so when I do the search, I may put Agile in. A lot of people are putting Agile in. Not that it's required at the moment, but I want this person to have the knowledge. Get it in there so your profile pops. Get it in there so at least you make the cutoff. IT, SAP, Agile, PMP, whatever else designation, poof, you'll be there. Okay. Don't get cut out because you didn't put Agile on the list. I'm a Canadian, live in this area near Toronto. Some of you are as well. There's a great article in our national newspaper today about selling, but why great leaders need to learn how to sell. And it's just perfect for this piece because it's just firming up what I've always believed. Leaders, project leads, project managers, senior people in my organization that you want to work for. We know how to get people on side. Great leaders, great project managers, hopefully you know how to influence people, know how to sell an idea or a concept, know how to bring people into an environment where we're all on the same page. It's influencing. It's not selling the pencil and so you pay $3 for it. Competition, who gets more money. I've been to that exercise. I'm not talking about the salesperson. I'm just talking about that influencer. I'm talking about the importance of knowing that we have an objective and we have a current state and we want to get there. And it's going to take people to get ourselves on side. So how am I going to get there? I work for the board of directors. I'm the chair of a board up here in Collingwood for a not-for-profit. We do really cool stuff for kids in the world of art. But running a board is not easy. And everyone's got maybe a different agenda or different skill set. I am working with artists and I'm working with business people. And this piece, this learning how to influence and sell is coming at me fast. Because I, as a business person, have objectives and I have ideas and dreams. And sometimes as an entrepreneur, I move too fast. And I have to step back and say, I got to get these people on side. How am I going to do it? And just screaming and yelling and showing them some number is not going to do it. Learning how to sell and influence people is absolutely critical. And so what I want to know when we meet is that you have this skill. Because to me, it's really important. I want to know that, and I don't know how you do it. I mean, I guess maybe that's the problem. How are you going to get that across? But whatever it is, just drop it in the conversation. When I say, so what makes you special, give me some of your great qualities, drop this one in there fast and prove it. And give me examples of how you've been able to influence major stakeholders in a past project, or bring senior executives or owners or funders or project teams on side to a change in plans, to a reaction to a massive change up or pivot in the organization. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to stop shortly. I really want time to take questions. We're 45 minutes and I'm about to hit 35. So I think 10 minutes for questions, Q&A. I'm hoping you've got questions. Get ready because let's chat. Let's chat. Let's not waste the time and stare at each other. Let's chat. And here's the last piece. So all really good, David. There's the how, and then there's one other piece, and it's have a plan. I actually wrote a recent book on the execution of strategy. I do a workshop on your professional strategic plan, how to develop a career plan, and that's important. You see, when you interview with people, when you meet people and they say, what do you do now? And then the next question is, where do you want to be in 3 or 5 years? We often hear it. So often I hear, I don't know. Happy with what I'm doing, all is good. Okay. Well, where do you really want to go? Here we go. Well, I want to be executive vice president of IT in this organization. I want to become a senior project director of a new PMO that I want to influence this organization to develop, or an enterprise project office that will start to embrace all the PMOs around this place because it's all disjointed. All wonderful stuff. Here we go. You ready? What's the plan? What's your plan? How are you going to get from here to there? So I used to run these project management conferences, and I run training programs across the country at 9 universities. And along the way, someone said, David, you're going to end up on stage as a keynote speaker, as a professional speaker. And I went, whoa, what are you talking about? And he started to describe why he thought that, because he's seen me on stage being the MC for all my events. It took me a couple of months, but eventually I realized that maybe he was right. And so I started to work towards that end goal. I wasn't sure what I was going to do about these two roles in life. Eventually I sold the business and stuck around for a few more years, but I'm out now. Kept this because, yeah, that could still fit. And I realized that when I turn some funny age that I'm long beyond now, it would be nice not to be kind of fully employed with all the traveling and the conferences, but do this and become a professional speaker. 15 years later, I did it. What did I do in between? Well, the first thing I did was I put a plan together. And the plan wasn't very strong because I really wasn't sure what was going on. But I could see the end goal, the end result, the future state. Strategic Planning 101, the future state. Saw me on stage speaking on what? I didn't know. Where was I getting content? I had no idea. What was I charging? Who was I speaking to? I had no idea. Probably in project management space. And over time, it starts to evolve. You don't need a really, really clear future state to start planning now. You can have a dream, kind of draw it out. It's foggy, but we got someplace to go. Over here, critical piece. Current state analysis, strategic planning 101. Who are you? Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? As a result of your strengths, what are your opportunities in life? Regardless of what you want to do, where are your opportunities? As a result of your weaknesses, where are the threats that you might have to your future out here? Who do you know? What are your major assets? What are your special skills? Are you living here? Are you mobile? Do you have family? Do you have future family? And all these pieces go into this current state analysis. A great plan, ladies and gentlemen, for a career says, this is who I am. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. This is everything about me that I would ever tell a coach. A coach says, hey, tell me all about you. Well, let's take 2 meetings to do it. And from there, I'm starting to build my future state. And then, of course, the third and critical piece of every strategic plan is, great, how do I get from here to there? Ladies and gentlemen, you need a plan. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really wanted to talk to you about how you can stand up and be counted, how you can be different from all the 200 people in that room, and how you can be at this table. Because I go by that table and I hear people thinking differently. They know their businesses. They've reached out. They've branched out to their industry. They know how to communicate well. They know how to structure the information to the right audience at the right time in the right format. If I asked them about Agile, they knew enough to be dangerous. They're good influencers. And it's funny because when I talk to them, they actually have a plan. And it's a growth plan. It's a future plan. That's the key to success, ladies and gentlemen. We are a dime a dozen these days. I can get really good subject matter experts with good certification. Show me more. I hope you've learned. There's lots to do out there. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm David Barrett. I am at davidbarrett.ca. I am, so davidbarrett.ca is not on that page, but it should be. LinkedIn, David Barrett Project Management, will get you there. I'm a podcaster. You can go to my page, my website, davidbarrett.ca, and subscribe to my weekly podcast. My podcast, I do videos. But the one I really want to mention quickly, and it's been on the spin here of recordings, is projectbytes.com. That's Project Bytes, no space, BITES.com. It's a collection of 20-minute videos and audio files for project management professionals. Love you to join us. There's a 7-day free access. You can get over 65 now videos of great speakers, a couple of which are here at this event today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pass it over to our friends, and hopefully we can do a Q&A for another 5 or 8 minutes. Okay, where are my folks? Testing 1, 2, 3. You guys there? Okay, well, I don't see anyone there, so I'm going to go to the chat box. Let's chat. Do you have any questions about anything I have said? I sure hope so. And if you do, I think we go to the chat box is the right way. Anyone, please ask me anything. Okay, we can hear you now. Yeah, I know that. Good. Okay, no questions. Anybody? Any questions? Anyone? Okay. Any thoughts? Any comments? I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Good. Oops, sorry. Now I'm moving around that thing. Great. Any questions? Okay, well, it doesn't sound like there are any questions. Maybe that's a good thing. I hope you've learned learning the business. So what's the question there? But yeah. Anybody else? How do you learn the business? Is that the question? How do you learn that? How do you learn the rest of the business? You gotta go out there. You gotta study. You gotta read. You gotta go to conferences. You've got to read about your own organization. If you're in a large corporation, read about it. Follow the shares, the stock. Buy one share. Buy one share. It gets you into the annual general meeting. Gets you access to all that really good, juicy information. Pay attention to other parts of the business, folks. Take people out from every department that you know out there so that you learn about what everybody else is doing. That's what it will take. Okay. I was told 11:45. We have 4 more minutes. If there are any questions, I'm here for you. Thank you very much for joining me. What do you think would be a great challenge? Well, what do you mean by to someone? Oh yeah, here you go. To someone coming in from other industries. Wow. The biggest challenge out there from any other industry is culture. It's understanding the culture of what's going on in the organization. Now, within one industry, every organization out there, every competitor is going to have a different culture as well, be driven by totally different leaders, and it's going to be crazy. But boy, there's not a culture for mining and a culture for the automobile industry, a different culture for finance businesses. It's culture to culture, it's business to business. And so that's the hard part. It's coming in when you're used to a rough and tumble environment where people are cowboys and things move fast and people scream and yell and you get stuff done and you work crazy hours to an environment which is gentler and softer and more coaching and it's more empathetic, then it's hard. The biggest challenge you have coming from other industries as a project manager is understanding the culture. I said to my daughter recently, I said, darling, they're not out there hiring you for your skills. You're young, you're right out of university. All they wanted was that degree. That was the ticket in to the conversation. What they're really looking for is that cultural piece. They're looking for someone that they can work with, that will be fun to work with. Maybe it's fun, maybe it's just challenging, that will challenge them. So it's culture. Want to use to catch your attention when you're already in that and you're guessing, yeah. Sounds like you have more weight on soft skills and certification, right? Well, as I said earlier, I can get great project managers that are qualified, subject matter expertise, lots of experience, and certification. A lot of organizations put that certification as the ticket to the party. Once we get to the party, I'm going to choose my people. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but unfortunately, some organizations say we're going to cut it off at PMP or whatever the other certification is. And if that's the case, then I'm not going to minimize certification. A lot of people use it as the ticket, the ticket to entrance, ticket to entry, which is too bad. But it is what it is, and that's why I say, given all of that, what else do you have? And yes, if you want to go through my little list, you want to go through my list here and say, is that all soft? Yeah, pretty well soft. Technical project management, folks, is easy. Soft skills that are hard. I had someone from EDS many years ago cutting a video with him. He said, we figured it out at EDS. We know how to manage our massive projects, and they were huge. They were technology. He said, and I'm really excited about this, he said, just get rid of all the people. Yeah, really. And he said, it's the people that mess it all up. It's the people that really challenge us in any environment, but especially in the project management. Got a degree in engineering, but no professional experience in my field. I have no issues adopting to cultures. Peru, studied in the States, and now work as an educator. But if I wanted to get my leadership skills going, what challenges would I find? It is that entry-level piece. It's being able to get, Paulo, it's a great question. It's the challenge to young leaders is getting the opportunity to be a leader. And so don't go to major corporations and say, may I be a leader? You can't. Or get into a department as a junior and wait for the 15 years to get a leadership opportunity. Volunteer. Volunteer with your project management association, local. Volunteer for your not-for-profit, local. That's where you learn leadership. What I am relearning right now, and look how old I am, And this work as a chair of the board of this not-for-profit is huge. I'm going, whoa, and I'm stressed. And I go back to my wife, Karen. I say, I got this problem. It's leadership 101. You can get leadership experience as a volunteer if you are junior to the industry. Okay. Will this presentation be available for review after it's completed? Yes, Carrie, I understand it is. Paulo, thank you. Great presentation, Melissa. Thank you so much, everyone. I think our time is up. It's 11:45. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm David Barrett. I'm davidbarrett.ca. Projectbytes.com. 7-day free trial is available. Love you to access it, register, and watch those videos for 7 days, and then maybe join us in the long run. Okay? Have a great day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Adela, thank you. Adela, thank you very much. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Paulo. Chimaka, thank you very much, everyone. Bye.